everybody. Welcome to AJS News. This is video 2 of 2 for today.
But first, I'm depressed from our last news story. But first, a word from our sponsors.
Hey guys, back to tell you about our favorite VPN, Surfshark.
Guys, Netflix is $18 to $25. And for that price, you only get a fraction of their library. They have Lord of the Rings. They have Shawshank Redemption, Godfather, Terminator 2.
And get access to amazing movies like Sharknado.
Why do we... Oh, my
good.
God, Joe.
Yeah.
We go with Surfshark because it's friends and family for free. It's the best deal. We've done the research. And if your state is trying to tell you what to do on the internet, just switch with the VPN. Boom. And most importantly, secure your data, guys. It is very easy. Just go to surfshark.com/AngryJoeShow. Use code AngryJoeShow at checkout and get 4 extra months when you sign up with this VPN, guys. Check it out. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoy the video. Bye, guys.
Thank you to our sponsors, keeping the show going. Links down below. Yeah, fuck. My Mind Jack video.
MindsEye.
Got MindsEye video.
Got jacked.
Same thing.
It got jacked.
It got jacked. It's like flagged and claimed. So you guys form the backbone truly of allowing us to continue this. Consider subscribing, donating, or you know, Patreon. All that stuff helps our show. Sorry, I'm incredibly depressed. I'm supposed to be excited. Look what I'm wearing. Hey, it's Superman
Tomorrow.
week.
He's the man of
But
hope.
we just talked about how Xbox is on fire, is crashing and crumbling, and corporate interests are basically canceling all the fucking projects and creativity, and game developers are losing their job. Over 7,000 people across Microsoft are being laid off after 10,000 layoffs in 2023 and a few 2,500 in 2024. And while they make record profits, that's the part that bothers me so much, and it gets under the skin. This is why I created the Angry Joe Show, Corporate Commander versus Angry Joe. So while I'm trying to be extremely excited, everybody go get their Superman ticket, please. I don't really ask you guys for anything. So if one thing, go watch a movie for me. Go watch Superman. Go support it. From what I've seen in all the interviews and preview content, it seems like they understand the character. It's a new take on the character. It's a comic book version, something we haven't really seen so much. We've seen the darker gritty. We've seen the more realistic one, more in world. We've seen a comedic one with the Salkians. But now I think we're going to get very comic accurate. Is it going to be a little silly? Yeah, Superman is a little silly. He's got a fucking miniature city in a bottle. He's got a fucking flying dog. He shoots miniature Supermans from his hands.
He can kiss you and make you forget.
Yeah, there's all sorts of... It is silly, but that's what's fun. So check it out. Buy a ticket. We can talk about it. We're going to go see it tomorrow at 7. Stay tuned for our review. Probably the review will be out Wednesday. At some point, I need to sleep and put my thoughts together, so we'll see when that comes out, and then we'll see it again on Thursday night for a potential second review from me on my own.
The longer version.
The 3-hour version, because you know, if I can talk an hour for a 3-minute trailer, get your ass ready. get your booty hole ready. All right. That's it.
All right. In gaming news, Neil Druckmann has said he's stepping back from HBO's The Last of Us to focus on Naughty Dog projects. And so also executive producer and writer Haley Gross also exits to make space for what comes next.
Nobody wants what comes next. They don't even want to be part of it. They're like, the viewership is down. Nobody's happy with this. Everyone's going to hate the next season. So I'm out.
That's the speculation.
Neil Druckmann?
Yeah, that's the speculation. So
y'all are doing shit that I don't even like no more.
Yeah.
I think it felt like there were disagreements.
That is what the rumors and speculation is. There were some disagreements between Craig and Neil on
how does Neil lose that? He's the fucking creator.
Yeah, but just because you're the creator, but you still have to play second fiddle to the guy who's the showrunner, and so ultimately it was Craig's decision, and that's the decision that they went in. If we're to believe but it makes sense because honestly, even if you're a massive fan of the game and a massive fan of the show, there are some character decisions that are odd, like really odd. That's like these characters are
You fucked up, Ellie.
Yeah, to the point where it's just like an unrecognizable character, and I'm not talking about.
And
physically.
it might be Neil Druckmann's like, nah, I'm done with it.
Yeah, and so he does have.
Or he really does want to put more time in the video games. I know we're speculating. I know it's fun. I know we can make 15 drama videos out of it as well. But it could also be that.
So Haley Gross also leaving is what kind of leads me to believe it's more, it's more fun to poke fun at the speculation because she doesn't have anything to go do over at Naughty Dog right now, and she's just leaving anyway. So
she doesn't. Why can't she help on any of those projects? We don't know if she's not. Where she's going next, do we?
Well, yeah, she said that she doesn't know what she's doing next.
Oh,
yeah.
I don't know what I'm doing.
But it's not this.
What the fuck? All right.
Yeah, and
That's
so
interesting.
She said to make space for what comes next is what it is, where Neil's like, oh, I've got these games working, I've got all of these other things to keep me busy. And she's like, I don't know. And so, again, like
keep your options open.
Or
man.
she knows and she's not saying.
Yeah, nothing is written in stone. It's fun to poke fun and speculate. So that's.
But a lot of these people are gagged. When you're working, when you're making millions of dollars, and you're working
gag.
for these big things, then you can't say, you can't tell people what it really is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so everyone's being real happy and supportive about all these things. And so Craig Mazin said that he's grateful to Neil and Haley for entrusting us with this incredible story. And so,
well, that's what you got to say. He was like, "Oh, it's in great hands. I trust them." It's like, "No, you don't.
Yeah.
You're leaving."
Yeah,
like,
the check cleared.
Yeah.
I have to say that I have to be nice about all these things. All right, we got some news from Build a Rocket Boy. Around 300 employees received an email that said that they are at risk of redundancy. This is the people who made the most recent angry review that you should go check out. MindsEye Jack. Mine's Jack.
They were
Eye.
forced to make the game. They weren't happy making the game.
Yeah. And so they're at risk of being laid off. And so the CEO has still.
If you make your game for that much money, 100 million plus, maybe nearing 200 million, we don't really know. Let's say 150 million, and then the game comes out and it does $47.
Yeah.
Well, no, $47. Hold on.
Dozens of dollars.
6,000 something. Because we
Dozens
bought a
of
copy, or I bought a copy. You didn't buy a copy.
No, I told you I felt ripped off.
Yeah, your money and I feel ripped off.
You bought this.
I
and
played. I was like,
feel-
"What the fuck is this shit?"
The juicy bit to this article is that sources claim that the CEO addressed staff in a brief video call earlier this week, suggesting an alleged relaunch of MindsEye, and suggested that the studio and the game's struggles were due to internal and external saboteurs.
My video was so fucking late. He's talking about everybody else. This just, doesn't. He don't like it. That's the final nail in the coffin.
Like really? Like how? Like you don't.
Cool carnage.
Like,
Saboteur.
Sir, have you played the game?
Yeah,
Sir. No, I've seen several cutscenes and they look good.
Yeah, and then
That's how you
I
get
kind of hope
tricked
he
by
does
the
do
game.
that.
re-release
do
the game.
what?
Will it make more $1 billion?
More
$1 billion D.
dozen. It's like we went even more negative.
Yeah, somehow.
They need to do something. It is in a pretty bad state at launch, and so there needs to be multiple patches. And if you want to call that a relaunch in order to try to get more sales,
Even with the patches, it's not a good game.
It's stupid.
It's not a good game.
Right. The gunplay is awful. The missions are awful. The AI, the story seems to be written by AI. And your fail states anytime you try to do something, breathe the wrong way.
Mission success.
Joe literally handed me the controller and I failed. And then Joe shot a bottle and it failed.
It looked fun.
Go watch the review.
Go review? Yeah. How many people do you think are playing MindsEye right now?
I would say under 100.
I'll say 267.
26.
You were right. 26 people.
26.
They're going to relaunch this game, guys. and they're gonna make another $47.
Game's not
I don't know
that
why I'm
bad,
choosing
Joe.
47.
Game's
It's
not that bad.
Right,
I've been watching
that's
for 30 seconds, Joe, and the game is
game's
not
not
It
that
looks
bad.
good. And it's like, oh, okay. Well, stick around.
Yeah.
They're here for 5 minutes. Even the trolls are like,
It's like, oh, God,
man,
yeah, that's bad.
That was bad.
That's rough, yeah.
Shoot
I
the
spoke too
drones.
soon. I have
Shoot
learned
the
my lesson
drones.
for one day.
The drones. Shoot the drones. Oh, God.
Yeah. And so Mark Gerhardt previous claimed there was a concerted effort by some to trash the game. And so that is what it is.
I think he was talking about like beforehand.
Yeah.
You know, people were thinking it was going to be a disaster. Guess what? They were right.
You mean the guys who left before the launch?
Yeah, the C-level executives are like, holy shit, I am out.
So yeah.
Right before launch, we're leaving.
Maybe their contract said they made a percentage of the revenue, and then they saw it was going to be massively negative, and
Here's
they're
your
like,
check, sir. $10.
yeah, no, negative $30,000.
You
Like,
owe-
what do you
you
mean I
owe
owe you
us?
money?
For working here.
Yeah.
You know what's doing?
I'm sorry. What? We'll expect your check. And your
how it
convenience.
works.
Yeah. So go watch our video because it got claimed by YouTube, and then you can also support us external.
Too much
saboteurs.
cursing.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Hopefully, I'm talking with YouTube. I'm trying to see what this, because like if angry reviews have to be that way, I'm gonna be so pissed. I've been doing things this way for 13 years. That's why it's so important for you guys to form the backbone of the mobile infantry on Patreon, Twitch, however you want to support, even just a simple subscription,
Subscribe on YouTube.
telling your friend to subscribe, whatever. Because I don't know, it feels like times are changing. Hopefully, this is just something. I keep you updated. But if all angry reviews are going to be like this, it's going to be bad. We'll figure it out.
Bleeps.
Yeah.
Bleep, bleep, bleep,
Bleeps.
bleep, bleep.
Meeps and the creeps.
I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Better than shutting down the show, but I don't want to do that.
Yeah. It could also be. The notice said that it could be for sexual content, and then OJ's sheer
OJ is pretty
the
sexy.
magnitude of his sexual energy.
It could be what's the
That's
motherfucker's
exactly what
name?
it was.
Could be pissed off. Mine, Rocket Boy.
Yeah.
Rocket Boy could be pretty upset.
It's like, this is Damon. Once we re-release it.
Ah, fuck! Pull it down. Oh boy.
Yeah. We got news from EA. So EA,
EA.
we talked about
Yeah,
corporate.
it's like me too.
Yeah, we talked about corporate bloat, and some of these games end up costing too much money. So EA reportedly expects Battlefield 6 to bring in 100 million players.
Wow,
and
that's a
even
lot.
even DICE devs don't think that's feasible. There's also reports that their budget has ballooned past $400 million.
Oops.
Which is what, half a Star Citizen? So that's fucking nothing, man, right? Like that's absolutely
You
nothing.
had to go for the
yeah,
jab.
He had to go for it.
Yeah, you poke fun at
Fuck
me.
you.
We're talking about mismanaged projects and companies and dumb fucking people. Of course, we have to bring up the management of Star Citizen.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this is absolutely huge, and I think they're just setting themselves up for failure because that's a lot of fucking people to play Battlefield 6.
Yeah, if EA's expectations are way too high like that they're just, it's going to be a disaster. They're going to be mad at Battlefield and give Battlefield less resources in the future. It just sounds like EA just can't get it right. They either fucking undermanage it, mismanage it, or put these directives that make the first game fail or the previous game fail with its stupid live service and stupid operators and stupid this and that. And oh my god, the soundtrack. And now they're trying. But from what I've seen, the next Battlefield is going to be great. 100 million player great. That's a fucking hard ass.
Battlefield has never achieved those numbers before.
Right.
They're taking a page off
But
of Square
I'm going to
Enix.
say, but something that EA doesn't want, I'm going to say this is for future development. You're laying the groundwork so that the next Battlefield after this Battlefield can build upon that success. So you've spent the money there, and hopefully you can use that moving forward. Basically, investment up front, which these corporations and CEOs don't like to do and don't even know what that is. But yeah, so I think like you that it's probably not going to be that successful, but I do think this next Battlefield coming based upon what we've seen from the leaked gameplay. I was in the labs, but I never got to get hands on myself. It is better than the last one.
So, according to an EA employee, obviously Battlefield has never achieved those numbers before. It's important to understand that over about the same period, 2042 has only gotten 22 million players.
Holy fuck! I didn't know it was off by that goddamn much. They won 100
even at the peak,
4 times.
Yeah, even at the peak of the series with series powers with Battlefield 1. 30 million plus is what they achieved. So this 100 million goal is crazy.
It's not Call of Duty. It's never been Call of Duty. They're asking for it to be exactly Call of Duty.
Also, EA hopes a free-to-play Battle Royale mode is going to be a core offering that people are going to absolutely love. Do you think it's going to have more or less success than their Extraction mode that 7 total fucking people played?
God damn, man. That's crazy.
And the new numbers would be like, we want 12 billion people to play.
I don't want to mention something disgusting. The mobile version of Call of Duty boasts a very high number of daily active users, 94 million active users.
Yeah.
The mobile version of Call of Duty.
Oh, yeah, Call of Duty Warzone had to be canceled because no one was playing it.
I know one of those players.
Yeah. Shame on you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I hope it does well. It's not going to do that well, so now EA can come out and say, "Oh, this is we got to write it up because this and that."
Fails to meet expectations.
Fails to meet expectations. We're going to reduce resources.
Let's
turn it into a live service.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Well, let's fire 30% of the people at DICE, and then
hopefully investment for the future.
Yeah. Brazil is going after Apple in the same manner that the EU did. Mm-hmm. So the antitrust body recommends actions against Apple for anti-competitive conduct. This comes after an investigation into the restriction of third-party payment systems in iOS. We've talked about this forever. Everyone is realizing that this is totally fucked up and you can't do it. And like all of the consumer protection and then the competition laws, pretty much worldwide, it's not okay. But they're one of the largest companies to ever existed in like all time. So they've been able to get away with some of these things. But now they're recognizing that it's not going to fly anymore. And so this is a complaint that was filed in 2022. It's taken a long time. Mm-hmm. And so they're saying that the restrictions create artificial barriers to the entry of competitors and markets related to the iOS system, which is fully controlled by Apple. And so I imagine we're going to see the same lines of legislation come down. We'll just kind of see if Apple can, hit people with the wallet and just say, leave us alone. We want to, we'll make none of the products. Your iPhone's going to go bad every year. We're going to change chargers on you where we're legally allowed to do that. Prices will go up, even though we've moved our factories into places where there's questionable hiring and payments. So
cool.
Yeah, awesome. So good. I'm glad Brazil's going after them.
Thank you, Brazil.
Yeah, thank you.
Probably not going to result in much, but we have to at least do something.
Yeah. 3 Ubisoft former execs have been found guilty of sexual and psychological harassment and given suspended sentences. We've been talking about this as well. I mean, there were some
suspended sentences because they're rich.
Yeah. Oh, Joe, there's two legal systems, right?
Right.
Yeah. There's
one for you.
Yeah, and then one for the people up there. Remember, that's why there's so many things that are fines, right? Because if the punishment is a fine, then it's only illegal if you're poor.
Joe, did you steal a candy bar?
Straight to jail.
Handcuffed.
That's 7 years. Yeah.
Yeah, and so
did these people ruin 500 different people's lives and ruin their jobs and everything?
Tie 'em up?
You go to jail for 12 months.
Yeah.
That's too much.
You know what? No,
I don't like that.
Go to your mansion and we'll put your little bracelet.
Just drive by the jail. That's enough.
Look at it. There you go. I like that. That's enough punishment.
Yeah. And so one of the people received a 3-year suspended sentence and fined 30,000 euros for sexual harassment, psychological harassment, and an attempted sexual assault.
Jesus Christ.
If that doesn't piss you off, I mean, it's crazy. Another one was found guilty of psychological harassment and complicity in sexual harassment. He was giving an 18-month suspended sentence and fined 45,000 euros. And then there was a 12-month suspended sentence and fined 10,000 for psychological harassment.
These are all slaps on a wrist, but at the very least they were convicted, and by the law, evidence was collected against them, presented, and a decision made. So there's justice there. just the punishment, I don't know if that fits, but at least something was done for these particular executives.
Yeah.
But hopefully they get no more work. But
no, we
They
talked
gotta go
about
somewhere
that
else.
dude at Riot
They
that was
just
farting in people's mouths.
They just get moved.
And
He's still there.
And he was still there, like years after. I don't know if he's still
That's
there
the
now,
sad
but
part,
like he was like, no. He manages well. It's like he was farting in people's mouths. That's not managing.
But that was
people.
a joke, Alex.
Oh, very funny. Very funny.
Are you stupid?
They're very funny. Half your team has pink eye now, but
That's not productive.
yeah.
Oh boy.
All right. Now it's time to talk.
news. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Stop Killing Games has finally surpassed its goals. This is an ongoing thing.
I don't know much about this. You're going to have to explain this to me, Alex.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
I think the sentiments behind it, if it truly is, hey, we need to preserve these games because companies are shutting this shit down, that aligns 100% with what we feel.
Yeah.
So what is that's not a controversy. What is the controversy?
So, like, to expand on what the goal is, they want to make sure that when you buy a game, they can't just close it after 6 months when it's not meeting, and it's like, hey, I bought the game, I want you, and they're not saying you need to keep the servers on in perpetuity and pay all this money. That would be unreasonable and that would be crazy. They're saying
forcing companies to keep it going.
Yeah, create an offline mode where I can still play the game the way that I want to, or give people the access to run their own private servers.
Okay, that I like.
That is all awesome stuff,
yes.
And I'm totally for it. The people who are against it, one, there's a really famous guy who's a bootlicking corporate shill. I don't even want to bring up his name because he sucks. And then it's just, it's a corporate shill thing where he's like, no, you guys, this is not what it's written. And it's like, look, this isn't the proposed legislation. This is kind of just a petition to get things going. And then we'll talk about these things later. There are people, smaller game devs, that are saying, hey, we will not have the resources to do all of the things that you want if we make a live service game. There are publishing groups that say, hey, this is going to limit creativity and people aren't going to want to do it. And I don't buy that. It just seems like there's a lot of people that are just trying to, hoard all of the money because they don't want to let people run like their own offline servers. I think for the most part, the sentiment is pretty good, and I mean, we will know what the actual legislation looks like if we even get to that point. But it's nice that we.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because people want, hey, we need signatures, we want support for this, but then some people are like, well, the language in this isn't 100% perfect. It's like, yeah, but I didn't have we're beginning this. This is not the legislation itself. This is not the law or anything itself. This is the idea behind it that we can't have these games taken away from us. Which, I don't know, it's undercut by the fucking companies up front being, all those agree. That's all the digital thing where it's like, no, you agree. You already agreed that you didn't own this game and we don't have to do any of this stuff. So what this could result in is those companies just putting an additional clause in that thing that you have to press before you play the game that we don't have to give you our code. We don't have to keep, and then that's how companies are going to get around it.
Yeah, they'll create a tutorial that you can walk around in that's like, they're like, oh, cool, the offline mode for the game is you can play the tutorial and just the tutorial, and like you'll be happy with that. So
no, I'm saying we opt out of that, and if you don't press agree, then we're legally covered by that.
There are worries right now that there may have been some signature spoofing campaigns done to hit that 1 million. It was slow to start. There were a lot of people that signed it immediately that have share the similar sentiment that we do. That's like, when you buy a game, you should have access to that game, and they should not be able to Square Enix it and go, oh, it didn't meet our expectations, so canceled. And it's like, well, I had all this stuff, even if I don't get to play on your servers.
The deluxe versions, like 100 and something.
Give me an offline mode so I can still play my character or do whatever I want to do, especially in some of those like driving games where people are just playing for like the driving experience. And so
okay.
Yeah, as far as like the specific
so just because 10% of the language and wording on that, people were shitting on it and trying to undercut it. Well, that sucks. Then, because I think the sentiment there is good, that we need to be able to preserve some of these games or continue playing them because we purchased them.
Yeah, and then there's just some people that are bootlickers, and that's what they're like, hey, they probably have "Don't Tread on Me" stickers on their cars, but at the same time they want to just corporate daddy tells them, no, that would that would limit our creativity, and it doesn't. It would just limit the amount of money and
Yeah, because nobody's going to come at the argument with like, no, that's dumb. So they have to come up with other reasons.
Yeah.
They're not going to say, oh, no, stop killing games. No, keep killing games. They're not going to say that. So they always have to come up with something different.
Yeah, the European Game Publisher Group has said these proposals would curtail developer choice. Well, when you take our money, there's kind of an implied contract, right, where I give you money, you give me access to this game. And if you take away that access before, like a reasonable amount of time, you didn't fulfill your end of the bargain. And so I think just hammering out paperwork that would explain that it's like you have to provide something for that amount of money that you took in is important. So, all right.
I wish that we could just improve the wording on the initiative just to make it stronger. I don't know if you could restart that or if that's even necessary. We just move forward with that particular thing, knowing that there will be amendments to the Stop Killing Games, because the idea and the sentiments are important. So we'll keep monitoring this as the UK petition.
Yeah, and so to read it directly from their website, Stop Killing Games is a consumer movement started to challenge the legality of publishers destroying video games they have sold to customers. An increasing number of video games are sold effectively as goods with no stated expiration date, but designed to be completely unplayable as soon as support for the publisher ends. And I think that, as long as you are pro-consumer, I mean, that makes a ton of sense.
Yeah. So go over there, read it. If it's something you're interested in, want to support
and you live in
it.
Europe, you can't sign if you don't live in Europe.
Yeah. Some guy was saying when I found out it wants my ID card and number and other things, I gave up because it asked for more times than I was willing to give to it. So I don't know if that's a thing over there in the UK for these petitions. That would be fucking annoying and scary. So just be careful. But yeah, we'll monitor this particular situation going forward. But okay, I've got to go. I got to get a haircut. This shit is out of control. But I do want to mention there's a surprise announcement here. Cyberpunk Edgerunners, one of the best animes on Netflix, is getting a sequel.
What?
Wait, what?
Are you surprised?
But
I haven't seen it.
But the story. Joe, watch this.
I got Netflix.
Watch this. You ain't. Yes, you do.
I can't. It logged me out because my sister.
Oh, that's right. Well,
I gotta have my sister
they're getting
sign
more
in the game.
restrictive on the goddamn
Yeah,
thing.
I
This
gotta
is
fix
one that
that.
you would be like, Joe, you were right. That was damn good. It'll make you cry, man. I was crying on the plane. People were looking at me. That's when I saw it on the plane. But anyways, they're getting a sequel. The guy said, well, don't worry. Well, I don't want to give spoilers if you haven't seen it, Joe. He said, don't worry. The is still da. Okay? So it's probably other stories within that universe, and that's cool with me because I don't think it's ever going to reach the emotional levels of the original with that song and everything there. That was going to be really hard to pull off if you can do that, but we'll see. We'll see what they can do. Do you think it's necessary? Do you think they can come up with a better story, David and Luis?
I always hate when there's 4 sequels, but if they have a badass story,
If they got a badass story,
then I'm 100% for it because
All
it's
right.
super quality stuff. The problem is if they had this announcement a year ago, right after launch, and like, oh, this is popular, we're going to make a second. It's like, do you even have a story yet? That's when I have an issue. But if they're like,
the fact that it's taken a while now, you actually like that more.
Like you've taken the time to write something. There's a short teaser out, and so we'll just kind of have to see how it goes. But
Okay.
yeah.
All right, and then last thing, preservationists have discovered a nearly complete build of a lost Animaniacs game 22 years after it was canceled. You can actually play this Animaniacs. You remember that shit?
Can you play as Freakazoid?
I love Freakazoid, Freakazoo. That's and then there's a guy in the background like this, and every episode you could pick him out. Me and Devin love that. But it's Animaniacs Hollywood Hypnotics. So you can look it up. A game preservation group, Hidden Palace, discovered a nearly completed prototype of the game.
Buried in the desert.
90s animated show, Animaniacs, which I watched. I like the intro. It's great, funny. So check that out.
The countries of the world.
Got to try to end on something positive because this week's news was incredibly depressing, Alex. I'm blaming on you.
Yeah,
Alex.
it is secretly
blaming
my
all
decision.
that Xbox EA, everything on
Look,
you.
I just established a proper foundation because
damn
we
it.
started the week off at a low point. And tomorrow,
Okay.
you're going to hit
There.
your high
Hold,
point.
hold,
Yes.
hold high
Hopefully,
point.
as long as the movie isn't
Hold-
trash.
Knock me down. Oh, man. They're going to have to be a Joe watch. Joe watch this week. Make sure that I come to work. Come to my house. Check up on me. All right. Anyways, I have the boys check up on me on Wednesday if the movie's banned. All right. So thank y'all so much for watching. I got to go get a haircut. I'll see you guys on the next Angry Joe Show. Bye, everybody.